What if I told you that the success of every great project depends on just one document? A document that gives the project manager the authority to lead the project. And without it, no resources, no team, and no progress can officially happen. This document is a project charter. Creating a project charter is one of the very first activities of a project. It is developed in the initiating phase of the project. In this video, we will discuss the purpose of a project charter, the core components of a project charter, the inputs, tools and techniques and outputs. In short, we call it ITTOs. We'll discuss that as well. And in the end, I will explain project charter with an example of a project, EcoSmart Home Automation System. So the purpose of project charter is to formally initiate the project. It authorizes the project and allows the project manager to use organizational resources for project's activity. Without the project charter, we cannot start any project officially. A project charter contains the objective, scope, and the authority level that is assigned to the project manager. The core components of a project charter are project purpose and objectives, high level scope and deliverables, milestone schedule, budget overview, stakeholder identification, and assumption log. Although these are the core components, but the project charter can be changed as per the requirement of the project. One thing to note here is that the stakeholder identification process goes throughout the project lifecycle. It is not just done in the initial stage while creating a project charter, but also throughout the project phases. Now let's see the tools and techniques involved in creation of project charter. Here in input we have business documents, enterprise, environmental factors, organizational process assets and agreements. These documents are required to create project charter because it gives the details of a project. Next is tools and techniques. In tools and techniques we have expert judgment, data gathering, interperson, team skills and meetings. Here the outputs are project charter and assumption log. Now we will discuss all these ITTOs in details. First, we need business documents, which can be divided into two types: business case and benefits management plan. Business case basically answers the question that why do we need this project, and it provides all the necessary information from a business perspective to determine whether the project is worth the required investment. The benefits management plan, on the other hand, describes how and when the benefits of the project will be delivered. It also has a mechanism that should be put in place to measure those benefits. So, the focus of the business case is on justifying the project and securing approval, while the benefits management plan focuses on ensuring that the project's benefits are realized and sustained over time. Next, we have enterprise environmental factors or EEF. These are internal and external factors that then influence the project charter, such as organizational culture, market conditions, and governmental regulations. EEFs can directly or indirectly affect the outcome of the project. It can cause delays, like, for instance, a government regulation increases the tax on a product that needs to be procured. This would eventually increase the cost of the project. The next is organizational process asset. These are the existing templates, policies, and historical information that can guide the development of the project chart. These OPAs are important in project charter creation because it gives the historical information about similar projects. It has a certain template that can reduce the time to create project charter. The last is agreements. Any agreements or contracts relevant to the project that outline responsibilities, deliverables, and other aspects. For instance, an agreement between the company and the contractor. These sorts of agreement are input to the creation of project charter. Next, we have tools and techniques. Now, these tools and techniques are used to create project charter. The input we just discussed are the necessary requirement that provides us the information, and those information are used in tools and techniques to produce the project chart. Now, in tools and techniques, we first have expert judgment. Expert judgment can be given by individuals or groups with specialized knowledge. These are subject matter experts that know the basics of project management as well as the industry standards. And these people are essential to create the project chart. They gather information, conduct interviews, meetings, and they come to a certain conclusion for creation of project chart. Now, at last, we have output. The output of this process is project charter and assumption log. The main deliverable is project charter, obviously, where we have the formally signed document that officially authorizes the project, and it also provides the authority level to the project manager to use organizational resources. And next, we have assumption log. This document is important because it helps us to manage risk and keep the project on track. Now, in the last section of this video, we will create a project charter of the project EcoSmart Home Automation System. So the project charter is about the product launch. Title would be launch of EcoSmart home automation system. Then we will write project purpose. The project purpose is to develop and launch EcoSmart home automation system. The main focus is on energy efficiency, user-friendly interface, and providing affordable solution. Now, next we have measurable objectives. Here we have three objectives. Objective 1 is about the sales target of selling 100 units of this home automation system within first 12 months. Objective 2 is to reduce the household energy consumption by 15%, and objective 3 is securing at least 10 industry certification. In this sort of projects, we need industry certification in order to provide standardization in our product. So after writing measurable objectives, we have the high level requirements. Here we have written three high level requirements. The first one is integration of this system with the existing smart home devices, user friendly mobile app interface, and the affordable pricing under $200 per unit. After writing high level requirements, we can write high level project description and boundary. So boundaries basically defines what we have within scope of the project and what is out of the scope of the project. Obviously, in a single organization, a lot of projects are taking place in parallel. So clearly defining what is and is not part of the project is important. Here we have written that design, development, testing, and marketing of the EcoSmart system is part of the project, while the hardware manufacturing and post-launch customer support is not part of this project. Writing this high-level requirement gives us the boundaries so that we can do estimation of cost and schedule within the boundaries of the project. Next, we can write high-level risk of the project. Here we have written two high-level risks. The first one is risk of delays in securing industry certifications. Obviously, when we don't have industry certification, we cannot launch the product. Second risk is potential delays due to supply chain disruption, as some of the components are procured from overseas. Now, after writing the high-level risk, we can write the summary of milestone schedule. Milestone schedule gives us the high-level understanding of when the project is expected to complete. Here we can write the project kickoff date, the prototype development date, beta testing phase, marketing campaign launch, and product launch. As we are in the initiating phase of the project, these all requirements written here are high level and they can change depending on the requirement and risk in the project. Next, we can write a high level description of the financial. Here we have estimated total project budget of $2.5 million. Amount allocated for R&D is $1.2 million. Marketing and advertising $800,000, and last is contingency reserve. This reserve is important to understand because it is kept in all the projects. In case of any unforeseen risk or additional requirement in the project, we can use this contingency reserve to mitigate the risk. Now we can list the key stakeholders of the project. These are project sponsor, project manager, key team members, and stakeholders. As I mentioned earlier, that stakeholder identification is done throughout the project lifecycle. So at the time of writing project charter, we only write the most important key stakeholders, and later on, as we go deep into the project, additional stakeholders are added. Then we have project approval requirements. What requirements are needed in order to approve the project? In this, we have completion of all milestones on schedule and successful beta testing with 95% user satisfaction and approval from the project sponsor. Project charter is usually signed off by the project sponsor, so the approval of project sponsor is essential. Now we can write the authority level of the project manager. This project charter not only defines the role of the project manager, but also assign it the level of authority. At last, we write the name and authority of the sponsor. This project charter is authorized by VP of Product Development. So this was a typical example of a project charter. It can vary depending on the requirement of the project. So that was the last section of this video. If you liked the video, I would request you to subscribe the channel. Thank you.